Hi everyone, welcome to another session of the HBL files. In today's session, we will be discussing some introductory problems about direct proportion. Let's begin. For the first problem, if 50 grams of sweets cost $2.10, find the cost of 380 grams of sweets. For problems like this, we can solve this using the unitary method or the proportion method. Let's first use the unitary method. In the unitary method, our goal is to determine the cost of a gram of sweets. So to do that, we just have to divide the cost of the 50 grams by the amount of grams, which is 50. So 1 gram of sweets will be the quotient of this fraction over here. Next step is to find the cost of 380 grams of sweets. And to do that, we just have to follow this simple formula. The cost per gram, which is given by this, multiplied by the number of grams needed, which is this one. So substituting the information, we have, again, cost per gram is 2.10 over 50, multiplied by number of grams needed, 380. This gives us around $15.96. Okay, the next step or the next method that we can use is the proportion method. In proportion method, our goal is to make use of the concept that the rate y over x is constant. Therefore, we'll be assigning quantities or variables like y sub 1, x sub 1, y sub 2, x sub 2. Okay, let's begin. So we can assign 50 grams to be x sub 1, $2.10 to be y sub 1, 380 grams as x sub 2, and the cost of 380 grams to be y sub 2. In proportion method, you have to be careful that whatever you're assigning for x sub 1 should be similar to the one you're assigning for x sub 2. In this case, since I assigned mass for x sub 1, therefore x sub 2 should also be mass. In a similar manner, if I assigned cost for y sub 1, then y sub 2 should also be pertaining to cost. Using this formula, all we have to do is substitute the given information. And to simplify this, we have to multiply 380 to this fraction over here, giving us this. And finally, a value of $15.96. So that's how we solve the first problem. Next. On our second problem, we have 3/4 of a piece of metal has a mass of 15 kilograms. What is the mass of 2/5 of the piece of metal? Again, we'll begin with the unitary method. For the unitary method, we must first determine what is the mass of one whole piece of metal. To do that, or to determine that, we will be dividing the given mass by its corresponding fraction of the piece. And to simplify this complex fraction, we can multiply the numerator, which is 15 kilograms, by the reciprocal of the denominator, which becomes 4 over 3. So that means 15 times 4, it will be 60, divided by 3 is 20 kilograms. That means one whole piece of metal will have a mass of 20 kilograms. And now, let's find out the mass of 2/5 of the piece of metal. So to find that, we apply the same simple formula, the mass of one whole piece multiplied by the fraction of the piece needed. So the mass of one whole piece will be 20 kilograms, or simply 20 kilograms over one whole piece, times the fraction of a piece needed, which is 2/5. So that's 20 times 2, which is 40, divided by, what's 1 times 5? It's 5. So that's 40 divided by 5, and it's equal to 8 kilograms. Next, let's try the proportion method. In proportion method, again, we'll do the necessary assignments for x sub 1, y sub 1, and x sub 2, y sub 2. For this one, I assigned the fraction of the piece, 3/4 of the piece, to be x sub 1, its corresponding mass to be y sub 1, the needed fraction of a piece, x sub 2, and then the mass of the 2/5 of the piece to be y sub 2. We use the same formula and substitute the given values. So for this one, let's simplify this one by one. Let's focus first on this fraction over here on the left side of the equation. Again, to simplify this, we have 15 multiplied by the reciprocal of the denominator, which is 4/3. 15 times 4 is 60, divided by 3 is 20. We now have this. Next, we multiply 20 by this fraction, 2/5. And finally, giving us 8 kilograms. So whichever method you want to use, you will still arrive to the same answer. Okay, so that's how we solve these two introductory problems about direct proportion. I hope everything's clear, guys. And as always, thank you for learning with me today. See you on the next session of the HBL files.